honey?
I'm home from work.
So when my husband gets home, I mark that as the beginning of our evening routine.
We're about to eat dinner, then go on a walk, and then Kayla has 39 more steps before bedtime.
So in general, we've made nutrition so complicated. It really doesn't have to be. You don't have to be vegan or carnivore, these extremes. It's really somewhere in the middle. We know that the Mediterranean diet is the most science-backed for longevity. And what does that consist of? It has lots of super high quality olive oils. It has a lot of nuts, seeds, tons of plants, and really high quality proteins. We always need to make sure that we're getting enough protein. So for me, I aim for between 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So yes, it's a lot of protein, but protein keeps us satiated. We don't get as many cravings, and it helps when we build muscle. So for me, we actually use an amazing CSA. So I work with local regenerative farms. They pack it all up, they bring it to our house. So not only are these vegetables regenerative, biodynamic, organic, the whole 9 yards, but they're also recently picked. So my friend Dr. Casey Mean, she's amazing. She talks about all the time that the longer that the fruits and vegetables are away from their roots or their stems, once they're picked, they start to lose their nutrient content. So I went way out of my way to actually stop shopping at grocery stores for the most part, and I either support local farms, you could do farmers markets, or something like a CSA. I'm very blessed, to live here in California where access to healthy food is pretty easy, but at the end of the day, it's high quality proteins, it's the right oils like, avocado oils, olive oil. You can also use some grass-fed butter depending on the temperatures that you're cooking at, and then single ingredient food. So you don't see anything that is ultra processed here, definitely not. There's maybe a tiny bit of processing, which essentially just means combining foods in bone broth, but really this is just simmering. So I love bone broths. We're gonna do a bunch of different vegetables, and I love to just roast vegetables with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt and pepper. Tonight we're gonna have wild-caught scallops. I just had these in the sun, charging, quantum, we won't go there, but anyways, so scallops, and then these are all single ingredients. Carrots, 1 ingredient, tomato, beets, cauliflower, Brussels, super, super simple, and I do some variation of this every single night. So for me, when I get my farm box delivered on Fridays, I make my menu for the week. So I look at all of the different plentiful and variety of fruits and vegetables, because getting a lot of color and variety into the diet is also very important. These different colors actually help specific organ systems. They feed our gut microbiome, which is incredibly important to get a variety of colors, fruits, vegetables, foods, and yeah, just variety. This is pretty much it. So I'm gonna chop up a bunch of Brussels. I'm gonna put them on the roasting pan, and we will eat dinner once my husband gets home. After dinner, we always go on a walk to improve our blood sugar and to connect at the end of the day and hit our step count. So it's also important to eat early. So I mentioned I start prepping my dinner around 4:30 because we eat as soon as my husband gets home between 5 and 5:30. You wanna stop eating for optimal sleep at least 3 hours prior to bed. If your body is busy digesting a heavy meal, you're not gonna get into those deeper stages of sleep. So eating early is absolutely critical for my wind down protocol because it's gonna help me sleep better later tonight. So every night after dinner, me and my husband make it a point to go on about a 50-minute walk. We're super blessed to live in the beautiful hills, and it's great zone 2 cardio.
More of a hike than a walk.
Yeah, the Oura Ring does log it as a hike because it's a lot of up and down. But the good thing is a postprandial walk, so after eating, is amazing for balancing your glucose. Studies are showing that even as little as a 3-minute walk after eating can help to stabilize your blood sugar. Not only is it a great time for us to just take a walk and stabilize our blood sugar, but we also get to connect. Warren and I love to do something called a marriage optimization meeting, and we're working so hard to optimize our health. We also want to work really hard to optimize our marriage.
So we go through things like compliments, grievances, things that I can do better, things that she can do better. And we're coming at it from a place of, okay, we're in this together. So if there's not something I need to work on, let me know. And if there's something I'm doing well, let me know. We love words of encouragement. We love communication. And we try and do one of those at least every 2 weeks if we can.
So something else that I'm thinking about quite a bit when I'm doing meal planning is the response that our blood sugar or glucose will have. So I'm currently wearing a levels glucose monitor. I wear one of these probably twice a year, or if I make any significant dietary changes, because we're all different. I could eat a sweet potato, you could eat a sweet potato, and we could have 2 totally different responses. So it's a lot of fun seeing what you're eating, how it's impacting your glucose. So when we're thinking about food order, it really matters, and what you eat and how it impacts your blood sugar. So if you are thinking about food order, you want to do protein first, healthy fats, and then your carbs or anything sweet. Obviously, we don't want to have any ultra processed foods, no added or refined sugars, but this is the way to better stabilize your glucose. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through my blood sugar today. This morning, I woke up around 6:30. That is sleeping in for me. But my blood sugar was around 78. So that's perfect. You wanna be less than 100, because anything over 100, fasting or morning glucose is going to be pre-diabetic, which we absolutely don't want. If we continue to watch, it rises a bit. So I had a coffee with a little bit of full fat coconut milk, a little bit of stevia, a little bit of colostrum, silica, creatine, and collagen. And so it spiked a little bit here, not too much. So you want to keep the blood sugar spikes under 30 points. That's ideal. So then we move throughout the day, we see some natural variations, and then here I have my lunch. So what I love about Levels is it also logs what you actually had. So this morning I had caraway seeds with eggs and a side salad with a little bit of beans. So let's look at what that did to my blood sugar. It didn't do much. So we were at about 96 when I ate, and it spiked up to about 110. I mean, this is perfect. We want to keep it stable. Therefore, we see it's moving along, and this is a filming day, so I would have already eaten dinner, but I haven't logged my dinner quite yet. So we see that I have stable blood sugar throughout the day. This is interesting because I had a couple sips of coconut water, which I would not normally do alone because I know that there's some sugar in this. It's natural, but we see here where I log my coconut water, we were at 91 and we spiked up to 112. Those are some of the main takeaways. A couple other interesting things is when I do sauna, sometimes my blood sugar will spike. This is a completely normal response, because as your body's working hard and you're having this hormetic stressor, you actually do release a little bit of glucose. So very, very normal. Also sometimes post-exercise or during exercise, you can see a glucose spike as well. But anyways, amazing and so fun because I had a 71 score yesterday and today I already have a 92. So you wanna be at least above an 85 on this Levels, but it's amazing because you can learn and quickly make changes. So anyways, I love it. And it tracks everything that you're eating. It has a new AI feature where you can take a picture and it'll guess the calories and the macros. So anyways, exciting stuff, guys. So I'm gonna walk you through how I have absolutely optimized my sleep. And the first and most important thing is sleep timing. So you wanna really stay consistent with your sleep schedule. I'm in bed every day by 8:30 or 9 p.m. at the latest, and this allows my body to get into a rhythm. Also, for super high quality sleep, you wanna make sure that you wrap up dinner or your last meal about 3 to 4 hours prior to bed. Another thing that is for absolute sleep champions is keeping your room really cool. I keep my room about 65 degrees. When we're sleeping, our body actually naturally drops down in temperature, and you don't want to be wakened by too hot of a room disrupting your sleep. Another thing is the lighting. I turn all of my lights in on my house to red, orange as soon as sunset hits, but my room is pitch black. So if we have any light entering the room, it will actually disrupt your production of melatonin, which is our sleep hormone. If you can't completely black out your room, I would recommend wearing a sleep mask. I love traveling with a weighted sleep mask. This has been one of my newest and most favorite finds. But blocking out the light, especially to the eyes, is incredibly important. So we have the temperature, we have the lighting, and we have the timing all set. It's super important to make sure that you're going to bed at the same time and waking up at about the same time. You don't want to necessarily be sleeping in way longer or staying up way later on weekends, because it's disrupting something called your circadian rhythm, which is your sleep-wake cycle. Very, very important to stay consistent. When it comes to supplementation, everyone always asks me what supplements I take for sleep. Personally, because my wind down routine is so good, I don't really need too many supplements. But if I were to take supplements, and a few things that I prep for my husband would be glycine, apigenin, magnesium. I love BioOptimizer's magnesium because there's 7 different forms. And if you're deficient in one, you're most likely deficient in all. But if you want to just take one form of magnesium for sleep, it would be magnesium glycinate. Really great for relaxing the body and the mind. Additionally, I love the transdermal magnesium by Symbiotica. So it is a magnesium spray that I literally just spray on and it seeps in through the skin. Not only is it a relaxing practice, but it's really great for optimizing magnesium levels. A few other things that are really important to consider if you're trying to create the optimal sleep protocol is your habits before bed. I never want to watch any anxiety-inducing shows. We don't want to be spiking our cortisol right before bed. And I even am able to turn my TV on red light. So if you have an Apple TV, this is a major hack, because if we have the red lights in the house, the red lights on the phone, and the last thing that I would say when it comes to an amazing wind down routine is keep a journal. So if you have ruminating thoughts, it's really helpful to jot down your thoughts so you can go to bed in peace. I'm gonna say something controversial here, but I most certainly do not sleep on an 8-sleep mattress. Why? Well, because I've asked many times about the EMFs being omitted, but I'll tell you a short story. So when something called an Uller was developed, this is many years ago, and of course temperature, the purpose of the Uller was to keep the bed cool. I had an EMF expert come to my home and do an assessment of the EMFs in my bedroom because I noticed a shift in my sleep quality. Lo and behold, the Uller was emitting a ton of EMFs, which is the opposite of what I want to be doing. I actually sleep in a Faraday cage, which reduces all of the EMFs and RF frequencies down to 0. So this is essentially a silver shielded cage around the bed that takes the EMFs down to 0. So I do not sleep on an 8-sleep mattress. I don't want to be sleeping in a bed of EMFs while I am trying to restore my body. When it comes to my sleep setup, meaning my bed, there's a few other important notes. If possible, you want to try to sleep on a GOT certified organic mattress. I've had an Essentia mattress for the past several years and I absolutely love it. Mattresses can contain harmful chemicals and VOCs that will actually off-gas. Number one, it's bad for your health, but VOCs have also been shown to potentially disrupt your sleep at night. So organic mattress with an organic sheet and organic bedding completely. As low tox as you can make your home, the better. Thank you so much for joining me for my evening routine. If you haven't seen my morning or midday routine, make sure you check them out and subscribe to the channel for more longevity and health optimization.